Tonight, 4 people are strapped inside a metal capsule. It is 9 feet across. It weighs about 20,000 pounds. And in a matter of hours, it will hit the Earth's atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour. What happens next? No one can fully predict. Because the heat shield protecting them? Engineers argued about it for 2 years. Some of them said it wasn't ready. NASA flew anyway. This is what happens inside those 16 minutes. Every stage, every decision, every moment where things could go wrong. And the one engineering gamble that makes all of it uncertain. To understand what's at stake tonight, you need to go back to November 2022. That's when NASA landed an unmanned Orion capsule in the Pacific Ocean after a 25-day test flight around the Moon. No crew, no risk to human life, just data. And what the data showed was not what anyone expected. The heat shield had eroded, not catastrophically, not enough to kill an uncrewed mission, but far more than the models predicted. The heat shield on Orion is made from a material called avcoat, a honeycomb of silica fibers and a resin compound that chars and ablates during re-entry. It burns away slowly, taking the heat with it. It's the same basic concept used on Apollo capsules more than 50 years ago. The problem wasn't the material. The problem was how it behaved. During Artemis I, chunks of the avcoat were coming off in larger pieces than expected. The gas trapped inside the material, gas that should vent slowly, was escaping too fast, creating pressure beneath the surface, popping sections off before they could ablate properly, leaving the layers beneath more exposed. The fix should have been simple. Redesign the heat shield, address the permeability issue, replace the avcoat, fly with confidence. But that would take years, and NASA didn't have years. The program needed momentum. The schedule was already slipping. So they made a different decision. Instead of replacing the heat shield, NASA changed the re-entry profile. They adjusted the angle and trajectory of the capsule's descent through the atmosphere, a technique called a skip re-entry, to reduce how long the heat shield faces peak temperatures. Less exposure time, less ablation. The damaged areas exposed for a shorter window. On paper, the analysis said it was safe. The models showed the underlying structure would hold, even under conditions worse than expected. But not everyone
of this year,
in that room.
NASA's administrator reviewed the analysis personally. He met with engineers. He met with outside experts. He said the data addressed his concerns. Some participants in those meetings walked away still not convinced. They didn't vote to fly. Their objections are on record. NASA flew anyway. This is not unprecedented. The history of human spaceflight is full of these moments. Decisions made under pressure, risk accepted, programs that could not afford to wait. Sometimes those decisions turn out fine, and sometimes they don't. Tonight, 4 astronauts are finding out which category this one falls into. Here is exactly what happens, stage by stage, in sequence, as it's unfolding tonight. At 7:33 this evening, the Orion service module separates. The propulsion system, the solar panels,
Everything that pushed the capsule through space for 10 days. Gone. Jettisoned. It will burn up on its own. What's left is just the crew module. 9 feet across, 4 people, a heat shield, and nothing else between them and 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. At 7:50, the capsule hits the upper atmosphere at 400,000 feet. That's when the fun really begins. Those are the words the re-entry flight director used. At 25,000 miles per hour, the air in front of the capsule can't move out of the way fast enough. It compresses. It heats. Not from friction, from compression. A plasma shell forms around the capsule. That plasma is so electrically charged, it blocks radio signals entirely. At 7:53, Mission Control loses contact. For 6 minutes, nobody knows what's happening inside that capsule. No telemetry, no voice, no data. Just 4 people in a fireball, traveling at hypersonic speed, and ground controllers in Houston staring at silent screens. This is where the heat shield is either holding or it isn't. Inside the capsule during blackout, the crew experiences up to 3.9 Gs, nearly 4 times the weight of gravity pressing them into their seats. The windows are glowing orange. The entire capsule is rattling. And outside, the avcoat is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Charring, ablating, burning away. At approximately 7:59, the plasma thins. Radio signals start getting through again. In Houston, the screens come back to life. If they come back to life. At 22,000 feet, 8:03 p.m., the capsule jettisons its forward bay cover and deploys the drogue parachutes. Small, fast-opening chutes designed to slow the capsule from 300 miles per hour to around 200. 1 minute later, at 6,000 feet, the 3 main parachutes deploy, each one 116 feet in diameter. Together, they drag the capsule down to 20 miles per hour. At 8:07 p.m. Eastern Time, Orion Integrity is scheduled to hit the water off the coast of San Diego, California. If everything goes right. Within 2 hours of splashdown, Navy divers will approach the capsule. Helicopters from the USS John P. Murtha will extract the crew. They'll undergo medical evaluations aboard the ship before flying to Houston. And somewhere in that process, quietly, systematically, engineers will start examining the heat shield. That data will determine whether the gamble paid off, whether the modified re-entry profile was enough, whether the engineers who said, "Don't fly yet," were wrong, or whether NASA just got lucky. Because here's what's at stake beyond tonight. Artemis II, the mission that puts humans back on the lunar surface, is already planned with a redesigned heat shield. The permeability issue is being addressed. The avcoat formula is being changed. But that redesign is based on what Artemis II teaches us. Tonight's re-entry is a data point, a test, one we're running with 4 people inside. Every astronaut who follows them to the moon will fly with a heat shield shaped by tonight. In 1972, Apollo 17 splashed down in the Pacific. Gene Cernan climbed out, looked back at the moon. No one knew at the time that it would be 54 years before anyone went back. Tonight, 4 people are completing the first leg of that return. Not landing on the moon, not planting a flag, just proving that we can get there and come back alive. With a heat shield that not everyone agreed was ready. On a rocket program that has taken decades and cost over $90 billion. carrying the weight of everything that comes next. 16 minutes. That's all it takes to turn a mission into a milestone, or a tragedy into a lesson. As of tonight, we wait.